It's now time to head over to the markets as we're seeing traders at Axis Bank expect continued foreign portfolio investment inflows may help sustain downward pressure on FX rates in the near term. Now on the T-bill side, the December to January OMOs as well as the September and June T-bills are the most sought after papers. Meanwhile, we're also seeing bond investors continuing to take profits. Tobechukwu Ikpe, Treasury Team Member at Axis Bank, joins me now live in our Lagos studio for more market movements. Tobechukwu, thank you so much for joining us. It's really nice to have you here in the studio and have this one-on-one conversation. Really now, let's start off with the liquidity base we have at this moment, drivers of liquidity at this moment, and even the sustained FPI flows we are having here.
Okay, for the market this week, we've seen an NTB maturity of 280 billion, thereabouts, and then there was also the FAC inflows, account system, which is the federal government payments to different states. So that boosted system liquidity from just on around negative 29 billion to over 1.5 trillion today. So the market is quite liquid, and what we saw was that in the interbank markets, we saw that drive the overnight placement rate from 30% levels to around 27% today.
And talking about movements as well now, the big question is where do we also see the Naira settle near term? Let's talk about the highlight of movements in the FX space, and then looking at the second half of this year, more tilted towards the month of July. What should we expect?
Okay, thank you for that question. What we've seen in recent weeks is the more interest from FPIs. We thought that they love Nigeria, but the love continues to grow. We get getting questions every day on how, from foreign portfolio investors, and how they can come into the markets, how they can take advantage of the yields. And interesting at this moment because we are on a downward trajectory for interest rates at this time, but we still see them coming in. This week, they've been selling every day, selling FX in the market, and we've seen that drive some appreciation, some gains in the Naira against the USD. Started the week around 15.50, currently in the secondary market now, it's around 15.35. So we've seen that FX appreciation, and we expect that will hold in the month of July, and towards the end of the year, we don't see it going above 15.50.
Okay. And then when we're also looking at trading action as well now across the bond and then T-bill side of the market, where do we see the most trading action at what rates?
For the bonds and T-bills, it's interesting because the Debt Management Office of Nigeria has decided to slow down their pace of borrowing. We saw the bond auction on Monday where they offered just 100 billion across two maturities. And some market participants expected that in their usual fashion they will borrow more than what they offered, but they sold exactly 100 billion, selling just around 1 billion on 2029s and around 99 billion on the new issue 2032s. So we expect the interest rates right now has reached its cap and is going to trend downward. So anyone that's interested in taking advantage of the bond or the T-bills market right now should lock in right now because the rates are expected to continue to trend downwards. But the T-bill space also, there was a maturity this week, there was no auction. So what we're seeing is scarce supply of treasury bills. Bills are getting scarcer by the day because the DMO has also capped their borrowing there as well. They have not issued the Q3 calendar, so we don't know where the next auction is. So we've seen a bullish rally in the market. People just picking up all the available treasury bills that offers that.
So we shouldn't expect any shift in terms of the allotment strategy at this moment?
No, what you should expect is that whatever they say they will borrow on the calendar, whether treasury bills or bonds, they will stick to that.
That's what they're sticking to. And now, while we're waiting for the next auctions calendar as well, now, what should investors expect at this moment, domestic, foreign investors? And then when we are looking at overall the shine the fixed income market has at this moment versus our equities market, how should investors expect the market to unfold near term while we await the auction dates?
In the near term, we expect that market participants continue to buy up the fixed income instruments that are available. We've seen bonds rally from over 19% for the on-the-run bonds and the recently off-the-run. Those are around 10-year tenors, 8 to 10-year, 31s, 32s, 33s. Those were trading above 19% just last week, and now the market today, they are quoted around 1850. So we've seen investors continue to just pick up those bonds from the real money buyers, domestic investors, pension funds, non-bank financial institutions. They buy those bonds because they know that if they don't get it here, in the next couple of months, it's probably far lower. So they are buying those bonds. So we expect the strong interest in the fixed income market to persist in the near term. For the FX market, we expect that more inflows continue to come in from the foreign portfolio investors to also lock in on the high yields in the short tenor space, which are the OMOs and the Treasury bills. So given a liquid market in the near term for July, we expect that likely an OMO auction may be floated next week, given the level of market liquidity, which is over 1.5 trillion at this time. So,
and also looking into crystal balls at this moment, because when we're looking at the wrap-up of the month now, I would have said today was the last trading day, but Monday is the last trading day for the month of June. But looking forward now, the next month comes with a whole lot of conversations being dominated by the monetary policy moves. What do you expect to come next month as we are having the MPCs across the west of the continent meet, especially Nigeria? So many expecting rate cut for the different central banks.
Yeah, well, the MPC would be keen to start cutting as soon as possible, but what they will be looking at is the inflation numbers. When the direction of the inflation numbers will tell them what to do. And also they'll be looking at...
What do you see inflation?
What do I see inflation? I see it trending lower for next month, but we've seen an uptick in oil prices, but that was not sustained.
I'm asking you this because we had a conversation with the finance minister and coordinating minister of the economy, and he still remains quite optimistic that Nigeria will achieve this 15% inflation target. The CBN has not released the data yet on the number.
So far, everything they've said they would do, they've done it. They've undo the FX markets. They are fixing the fixed income market. So I believe that
we're halfway down the line.
If they say they will do it, they will do it.
Okay, well, Tobechukwu would have to leave the conversation here for now. Thank you so much for coming in and having this discussion with me. That was Treasury Team Member at Access Bank, Tobechukwu Ikpe.